What's going on, awesome people? Welcome to another episode of the Awesome People Instagram Live series. Man, December 28th, we're inching closer and closer to the end of 2021. In case you're joining for the very first time, first of all, I would like to welcome you. Thank you for being a part of our community. This is the Unite and Conquer community, and this is the Awesome People series. I've had the great pleasure now for 28 straight days to have some really cool conversations with the most awesome Persian entrepreneurs, artists, creators, and just good people doing great things that are making us proud. So today my guest is going to be Aylar Macky, and she is the founder of the very first healthy prep company, healthy meal prep company in Iran. So I can't wait to talk to her about not just experience working and growing that business alongside with her husband, but also she's a huge proponent of living a healthy and balanced life. So we're going to get into that as soon as we get her on board in just a few minutes. For those who don't know, I normally start every single episode of these IG series with a 10 seconds of gratitude. And as you know, we live a very crazy life, hectic life, personally, professionally. And so I always like to kind of just woosah for a second and just count the blessings. So if you want to join me for 10 seconds and count those blessings, let's do it right about now. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And a friendly reminder, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, it is Zendegi, a 5-hour special episode of our Persian music live stream. Link is in our bio. 3 of our DJs, DJ Kia, DJ Yazan, and DJ Sam, are going to be playing some of the best Persian music under the roof. I cannot wait. I'll be hosting it from Miami, and the gang is going to be in our DC studio. So looking forward to having you a part of a musical experience that I hope that you will like. I think it's time to welcome our guest. So let's go ahead and bring the lovely, the fabulous, the former Miss Universe Canada finalist, Macky. Hi, Aylar June.
Hi, hold on, give me one sec.
Oh, I was like, oh, there we go. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm amazing. I couldn't be any better. How are you?
I'm glad to hear that. I know that you're feeling a little bit under the weather right now, but hopefully it's just a regular flu and nothing more than that. But sending you energy and good vibes that you get back to 100% health very quickly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I actually quite enjoyed the 10 seconds of gratitude. I was thanking the universe for health and for being able to be here with you today, and for Instagram for acquainting us and making the world so much smaller than it usually should be. So,
For sure. I mean, I'm extremely grateful for these connections myself that I've been gaining in the past month. So I'm happy that you're now part of this family that we continue to build, where we continue to support each other, like we continue to hear each other's stories. And let's talk about your story. Like a couple of years ago, you and your husband, you started a company called Joule. For those who don't know about Joule and in general don't know about you, give them a nice little background and then an explanation of what Joule is.
sure, absolutely. So, we founded the company. It was actually originally called Freshies. I started the company about early 2016. And then after 2 years, when I gained some experience and I realized, oh my God, there's so many things that I didn't know that I know now. And then my husband came on board, we got married, and he's an expert in the food industry. So I was just kind of like, honey, can you help me with this? I can't do this all by myself because the load was getting bigger and bigger and it was growing, being the first company of its kind launching in Tehran. So he hopped on board, thank God. And we shut down for an entire 2 months to rebrand, redesign, change the menu, change the setup, change the system, develop the website, develop our in-house software, which manages inventory and recipes and orders and deliveries, da 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 da. And then we relaunched with the name Joule, which comes from the measurement unit of kilojoules. It's the measurement unit of energy.
Yes.
So what we try to do on a daily basis is help people have better, more healthy, more energetic lives via changing their lifestyle and their eating habits, and trying to help minimize their daily stresses, because food plays a humongous role in our lives, and some people don't have accurate enough information to know this. So it's kind of what I'm trying to bring to the world and give back to society. A little side note. Um, I got very interested in nutrition. I originally studied marketing, sociology, and communications, but I
In
got very
Canada.
intrigued in Canada. Yes, fellow Canadian. I got very intrigued and interested because over a trip that I took to Iran, which I stayed for 6 months, I gained a ridiculous 35 pounds. I know.
Well, that cheddar kebab can be very, very filling. You know.
Cheddar kebab, burger, pizza, pirashki, anything you name it, I was having it all day. I got back and I just couldn't seem to get rid of it. Like I tried fat burners, all of these different kinds of machines they hook you up to, weight loss teas, and all these, marketing gimmicks, and none of them seemed to work. So I actually enrolled myself in nutrition to be able to learn the science behind it and figured it out. And I ended up losing the weight I gained, but in a healthy manner. So my hair wasn't falling out, my skin wasn't breaking out. I wasn't anxious and angry all the time because I was, hungry. Most diets leave you
Or
feeling
as they
very
say, hangry.
angry. Exactly. Mine comes with a F in the beginning, fangry. Uh, pardon my language.
That's okay.
Um,
You bleeped it out. It's okay.
exactly, right? So, and what I try to do now is just share that message with anyone that I can, because so many people get caught up in all these, marketing gimmicks and diets that actually end up hurting you in the long run. They You just start developing diseases and illnesses because of all the things that you have put into your body and all the things that you haven't.
Hmm.
So I guess you can call me an advocate at heart for a healthy lifestyle. I do
So,
sometimes have a donut or two, but I try to keep it on the DL.
well, that's where the balance comes, right? It's
Yeah.
like, like my mom always says, everything in moderation. She says it with a little bit of an accent, but same thing. My question to you is this. You are based in California yourself, but this is in Iran. So you have like a team that's kind of operating inside of Iran in Tehran, and you kind of operating it remotely. That's pretty hard to do.
So I'll tell you this little secret,
I
and
won't
that
tell
is
anybody, okay?
I know only, a couple of handful of people here. I actually have no idea where I am based out of right now. We're constantly flying in between Toronto, Orange County, and Iran. So anyone that like every time I cross the border, they're like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, don't ask me that question. I don't know.
You're a
Like, what am I supposed
nomad.
to put on it? Exactly, which is, what I've always dreamt of. Like, I hate being in one place for the entire year. So we're constantly traveling back and forth. We spend about a few months of the year in Iran, but when we're overseas in Canada and in Orange County, we've developed a system where we can now, thanks to COVID, monitor everything and run the business entirely online by generating reports from the team and from the software and from clients. So it really helps us keep the monitoring without having to micromanage everything on a day-to-day basis. And thank God for our team. It took us so long to gather, a group of brilliant, young, smart women and very few young men. But thank God for them, because we wouldn't be able to run the company. Absolutely not, if we didn't have the right HR in place.
So you mentioned COVID and you said thank God because I was kind of thinking about it. Obviously, everybody knows that, especially in Iran, there was really COVID became super problematic, and I would think that COVID could actually have been something that made a lot of people more conscious about taking care of their health. So I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, that in some ways it really hindered your business because of all the challenges that COVID causes. But I feel like you were in the right industry and the right business to be able to advocate for good health and be able to get people to really increase their immune system and health. So would you say that it kind of like opened up people's eyes a little bit to health?
Absolutely. So here's a little story. The first day, I was actually in Iran when COVID was happening. We were there to do some, expansion and business development, da 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 da. And then the news announced that the first few cases of COVID in Iran had been identified.
Hmm.
And of course, I had a panic attack, right? I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I recorded a video. I think it's still on my page. I said, everyone, stop panicking. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a research specialist, but I'm telling you, this is going to be just your immunity. So eat healthy, lose the weight you don't need, control your blood sugar, and just boost your immunity and make sure to get good rest, good sleep, and minimize stress. If you can do yoga, do yoga. If you know how to do meditation, do meditation. But start, instead of panicking, investing time in your health and your body and your mind and soul. Of course, as per Instagram goes, I got bashed a whole lot, but I stood my ground. I said, you know what? The research will come out in a few months' time where you all know you're going to need strong community to beat this. And it eventually did. And I think we all learned that people with the stronger immunity kind of had a better chance of not getting it so severely or withstanding the unfortunate COVID. But I tried. And with aspects to the economics of the business, yes, it helped bring a lot more awareness to eating healthy and making better choices, and how the choices of today, what you put into your body, what you ingest, what you digest, can lead to how your body answers in the future and how it responds to different types of illnesses and diseases. And the coverage the media fortunately did on this, bringing awareness globally to everyone about their health and their nutrition, really did help us out as well. But I'm glad we were able to be there so people could, lean on us for the food and the nutrition that they needed. What we actually did was, one of the hospitals in Tehran, they were struggling a lot with getting nutritious meals to their doctors and the physicians and the nurses working, 30-hour shifts, 40-hour shifts. So we stepped up and we started sending them meals for an entire 2 months. We covered all their meals just to help them, get some nutrition and some energy and boost their immunity. Sent them juices and lunches and dinners and snacks. But, we did what we could. There was only so many of us, and I think we did our part in helping out. So, always just trying to bring awareness to why you need to take care of your body, but also giving back to society as well. Hope we did.
So I have a little bit of a business question for you. So, you guys mentioned that you're the first meal prep first healthy meal prep company in Iran. How has the response been from the Iranian market? Because if you've been living in America or Canada or probably European countries, these meal preps, healthy ones, have become like a commonplace and many, many companies. And you were the first one over there. How has like the response been from Iranians? Especially because Iranians naturally, "نه ما خودمون درست میکنیم." Everybody thinks that they can make the best, which I'm sure we have great cooks, of course. But in general, I'm wondering how the business side of things was with regards to the Iranian market.
Absolutely. That's a very good question, actually. It's a funny one. So when I first started out as Freshies, um, started out at home, I used to pick up the phone and, take the orders myself. And I'd announce the price over the phone, and people would be like, I can get cello kebab for that price with a lot of meat. Why would I get a salad with, what do you call this? Aloe vera? I'm like, no, avocado. And then they're like, what's this little stuff on the salad? I'm like, that's quinoa. They're like, oh, I don't like it. Why do I have to pay so much? I just get cheddar kebab. I'm like, yeah, you can get cheddar kebab, but you also get cholesterol with it. So, your choice. It took about 2 to 3 years, honestly, of building the culture and bringing the awareness. That's why I did a lot of lives with influential people, just to bring awareness to making wiser decisions when it comes to food and nutrition. Of course, some people loved it. They grew with the culture. Some people didn't. Some people still don't. They don't understand why you're paying more to eat less meat and less rice. I always say, in Farsi, how do you translate this? Eat less so you can always eat. کمتر بخور همیشه بخور. So that's actually one of our biggest challenges. Trying to really teach people why you don't need to have a big plate of kebab and binge just to justify the money that you've paid. I always say, we source organically, we source locally, We QC every item that we purchase, quality control at different stages during the purchasing stage and the production and the delivery to make sure that you're getting, hormonal-free, antibiotic-free products. But also because we spend so much time measuring every single ingredient that goes into your food,
Mm,
and we're using, good fats like olive oil, avocado oil, sesame seed oil, those stuff is definitely more expensive. Good food is more expensive than fast food. There's a reason why.
right.
So that's been one of our biggest challenges, but I think COVID really gave us a push in a positive way. And also people's awareness is growing and they're becoming more aware of, oh, if I eat a lot of cake chocolatier and roll it, this is going to catch up with me in 10 years. Like, oh, yes.
Yeah. So
So,
you're
yeah,
putting a lot of bakeries to out of business, basically, is what you're trying to. No, I'm just joking. No, I know, I'm just joking. It's about. But let me ask you. So right now you're focusing in Tehran, but you are expanding to California now. So kind of tell us about where you are now as a business and what like your short term goal is with the expansion.
absolutely. Right now, we're actually opening up two more locations in Tehran within the next 14 to 16 months.
Wow.
We are starting to distribute some of our products here, not meals, but products such as our detox teas, our immunity boosting teas, our herbal sleep teas, which help you, get a better deep sleep, as well as coffee and our cookbooks. So what you can do right now is go onto our website in the United States or in Canada, order these, and you will receive them within the designated time now, given all these, delivery problems in North America right now. And then hopefully within the next 2 years, we're going to be domiciled here so we can actually start producing. But to be honest with you, the most difficult part, and I think any business owner would agree with me, is finding the right team. So I'm not going to launch our meal prep until I find the right team. And I'm just going to wait out this COVID because I see people are not loving to go to work right now. And that's not something that I really want to, start out struggling with. So we pushed our plans back a little bit, decided to just launch the products which we can pack and ship, and then within the next 2 years, expand into the meal prep line.
Awesome. Good luck with
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, seriously.
another thing that I mean, there's so many admirable things about what you're doing. I mean, you're truly impacting the lives of people through healthy meals and just education about health, which is of course key. But you also strive to employ women and young ladies to be a part of the company. Why is that such an important aspect of your business?
Absolutely. So about 10 years ago, when I decided to hop on a flight, a one-way flight, and go back to Iran for a while, I had no idea because I've been out of the country for so long. I had no idea how the workforce was and how everything really worked. Upon arriving and trying to find a job and then landing a job and working in several companies, I realized that what we have here, and by here I'm in North America, specifically Canada, because that's where most of my experience was, we don't experience the same type of equality when it comes to women in the workforce in Iran. Definitely, they take into effect so many companies. The fact that you're a woman, they label it. They said, oh, okay, you're going to have kids, you're not going to be able to work, so we prefer to hire a man. Or the treatments are very different, the wages were very different, and it was just so new, so unique, and so disappointing to me that I hated working at some of the companies that I was hired at. That's why my employments didn't last so long, like most of them under 1 year. I would quit because I couldn't handle the difference, the cultural difference, the way I was um, approached, the way I was looked at, the way I was labeled. So I thought, one day when I start my own business, it's going to be a place where women can feel safe, feel good, and feel like they can grow. So many times when I was working at companies, they wouldn't pay me on time because they're like, well, your dad pays for you and he must cover your girl, he must cover your expenses, so you're going to be last in line for payment. We'll get the guys who have families out of the way first, and then we'll get to you, like little girl.
This is in Iran.
This is in Iran, yes, and I encountered this so many times. Um, so I made it my mission to build something that wasn't anything like that. It was a complete opposite. So a young girl could know that at the end of the month, she was going to get the money. At the end of the month, there's going to be room for growth. At the end of the month, she can see her ambitions and her goals for next month, next year, 5 years down the road. And to be honest with you, so many young girls in Iran come out of the education system not having the education that I did at 24, 25 years old. And by education, I mean the system is set up so differently. When we do interviews or when we hire them, I ask them to, make an Excel file or something basic like that. And they look at me, they're so puzzled. Like, what is Excel? How am I supposed to work with this? What is it? Where do I find it? And it made me realize all the skills that they're not being taught in school. So what we do is we enforce a training program when they get hired within Joule, within the company. We train them for all of this stuff. So they actually, if one day they decide to leave the company, they leave more knowledgeable than when they arrived. And it's very personally important to me and my husband, Nima, to ensure that these girls are learning, are growing, and can become business owners themselves. That's why the locations that we open, we prioritize our own employees to be able to get on the franchise without having to pay the franchise fee over somebody coming from the outside. So the next two locations that we're opening are also going to be, we're partnering up with two of our top employees who've been with Joule the longest, one of them for 2.5 years, the other for a year and a half. So they can become financially independent and hopefully live the dream that they wanted.
Beautiful. I love that. So this kind of actually ties into another thing I want to talk to you about, which is I know you're very passionate about believing in yourself and believing in your capabilities, and I think you try to instill that in the women and the younger ones. Tell me a little bit more about, the concept of believing in yourself and your capabilities.
Perfect. So one thing that I make sure I do on, if not daily, but weekly basis is set aside time to coach my employees and friends if they need it, family if they need it, of course. Because I went through so many challenges in life. First of all, I was the only child for 15 years. And of course, immigration comes with so many challenges. Going back to Iran, learning the culture. I couldn't even cross the street when I first went back to Iran because I was like, oh my God, so many cars, so many bikes in so many different directions. But I was never the type that would sit down and say, oh, I can't do this because my parents are in here. Oh, I can't do this because I don't have the support. Oh, I can't do this because I don't have the money. And I just worked on myself and tried to, say every obstacle that comes my way, for every problem, there's a solution. And I definitely believe in that. Why? Because if I believe in myself, I can make other people believe in me. I always tell my friends, I'm like, listen, if you have an idea, don't say, I don't have money. My dad didn't give me money. My husband doesn't give me money. I don't have time. I have kids. I can't do that. I'm like, just decide and do it. Just organize your mind, organize your life, organize your goals, and believe that you can do it. It could be very difficult. It's something that sometimes I have to wake up every morning and tell myself, like, I can do this, I can do this, I can get through this. But it's exactly what has gotten me to this point. And I know that me, alongside with my husband and my team, we're going to go, very, very far. And that's solely because we believe that we can do it. If anything usually comes my way, I'm like, okay, I can solve this. Of course, there's a way to solve this. For example, when COVID hit, we were shut down. We were supposed to shut down for an entire month. So I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do with the wages, the expenses, all the food that went bad because we had to throw it out, da 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 da. I came up with an idea. I told my husband, I'm like, Nima, you have to stay awake for the next 3 days and nights. And he kind of looks confused. He's like, what are you cooking for us again? Like, what is going on? I'm like, listen, because I'm not about to go tell my employees, you're not getting paid this month. Okay, see you next month.
Right.
I said, I'm going to design cookbooks. I'm going to come up with recipes. I'm going to photograph them, but I don't know how to type Farsi. Can you help me out? And he's like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, okay, I'll cook this stuff up. I'll give you the measurements, the ingredients, the list, and how to, cook the meal and the photos. You please just type this stuff up and put it in a file. I'll deal with the graphic design stuff later myself. So during Eid 2 years ago, we stayed up for 3 whole nights, came up with 2 different cookbooks so people could actually cook at home to help boost their immunity, lose weight, and eat healthy. And it just blossomed. Because I believe that there was potential for it. Everyone's like, oh my God, yeah, cooking book. No one's going to buy that. Right. Okay. Good luck with that. Like my employees were like set that they weren't getting paid at the end of the month. I'm like, no, you guys are getting paid. There's no way that I'm going to let this ship sink right now. And it was pretty good because the day we launched the cookbooks, I woke up the next morning to hundreds of cookbook orders. Wow. So, we did it with hard work and believing, and really, I'm the type of person that just sets my mind to it and gets it done. No excuses.
So I want to end this because we have a limited time. 30 minutes is what we're trying to end this, but I want to end it on this question for you. You obviously have become very westernized to the point where you were a Miss Universe Canada finalist in 2016. You speak super fluent English. You reside primarily in the West, U.S. I know you go back and forth. You could be having this exact business inside of California primarily, or inside the country. What is it that gravitates you towards Iran? Tell me about that connection with Iran that you're like, I want to do this in my motherland. Can you just kind of touch on that part?
Absolutely. One of the 2 reasons that I went back to Iran is because I felt like I had a responsibility back to the country that I was born in. Right or wrong, we will know in about 50 years. I don't know right now if I made the right decision or not, but I felt like it was something that I owed to my country. So upon going back, I'm like, I have all of these skills that I learned in Canada. I have this incredible education, amazing experience, and a first world culture. I better do something that's going to matter in 30, 40, 50 years. I want to leave my mark in this world. Upon going back, I realized there was so much that I could do to give back, to contribute. And I kind of picked my niche. I said, you know what? This is something I believe in. I want to help young girls, young women succeed, be on their own feet, be financially independent, because I don't want to watch women go through what I had to go through the first 2 years that I went back. And because Iranian women, they're all so smart, so hardworking, with so much potential, but some of them are not in the right setting, not in the right job, not in the right family that will help them grow and prosper. So I thought this is one way I could give back to society and feel very content about it. People do tons of charity work and fundraisers. Of course, I've done those too, but this is something that I'm so passionate about because I felt so powerless when I went back. I didn't know how to deal with anything. I didn't know how to deal with men, with business. It's like I went back and I knew nothing. It was like leaving a baby on the ground, letting her figure it out. And I thought, okay, now that I have it figured out, now that I know how to do it, I can help other girls do the same and stand up for what they want and what they believe in, get married when they want, have the job that they want, and have the skill set that helps them succeed in life so they don't have to depend on their father or their husband or their brother or someone to help them get through life. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. I love it. It's awesome. And to answer your question that you were thinking out loud, you are leaving the mark, and that you're intending to put. And I have no doubt that you're impacting so many humans, not just women and children, but you're already leaving your mark. And I want to give a shout out to your husband. I believe you said it's Nima, right?
Yep.
Because whenever I see a man, especially a Persian man, that is like a pillar next to their wife and another woman in their family, the men need a lot of love and kudos as well. So props to your husband for steadfastly being by your side and being a true partner for you. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I wish more men like him existed because he puts up with my late nights and me not sleeping and me being stressed, and it helps out every single hour of every single day. And I just hope those are qualities that we can, see more of in men, as you said, be a pillar to their woman, because, you know, when you build a life together, it's so much more precious.
Yeah. Well, I hope that he also gets in front of the camera more so that, you know, he can also share his insight. It's like, no, huh?
He hates
You're in
it.
the face. I got you.
He
Okay.
hates it.
But either way, I am on behalf of a lot of Persians. Thank you for everything that you do. Kudos to
Thank
everything
you.
you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're a rock star. You're a shooting star. And I can't wait to continue to see the progress that you're making, the impact that you're making. You truly are an awesome Persian. I'm very happy to have met you, to have heard more about your story. If they want to follow you or if they want to get more information about everything you're doing, how can they find it?
Okay, so our website in Iran is www.getjoule.co for company. In the United States and Canada, it's on my profile. You can go check it out. Just click on it. I've listed it there. And if anybody wants help with getting their healthy routine started, if you have questions, you can shoot me a direct. You can shoot the Joule page a direct. It's also listed on my profile. And that's it. I would love to help anybody that wants to get their journey started, wants to feel healthier, wants to feel better, free of charge, out of love. Count on me.
I love it. Well, keep shining, and I'm rooting for you and Nima, and hopefully you guys continue to make the impact that you're trying to make every single day. So stay healthy, get healthy, enjoy the rest of the holidays. Happy New Year to you and your
Thank you
family,
so
and
much, Iman
به
جان. Happy
امید
New Year to you
دیدار.
too. به امید دیدار شما.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
good day.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Aylar logs off, I want to thank her friends and followers for joining. It was a pleasure having her here, and I hope that it was valuable, informative, and that it encourages you to live a healthier life and just live a more balanced life. On that note, on a closing note, reminder, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm having Zendegi, which is our 5-hour Persian music live stream. 3 DJs, DJ Kia, DJ Yazan, DJ Sam. Link in the bio, set a reminder to be notified, and I'm actually putting a pause on my daily IG lives tomorrow to focus on the production of the show. But we're right back at it on Thursday, and my guest is Yara Qorbani. Man, if you don't know Yara, you're going to love him. He is a registered associate therapist. He is a life coach and a practicing Kundalini yoga teacher. But above all, he's a great human being who preaches the power of love, energy, and unity. And if you know me, you know how much that means to me. And I cannot wait to have that conversation with him and with you this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Shabnam John, pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Be well, be healthy, and don't forget, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Newport Hair, it was a pleasure. Take care, be kind, and love each other. Ciao.